What's up, everybody? It's Chris from Kovalam, India, and forgive me if I'm a little glossy-eyed. I just came out of a really intense, deep meditation after a really intense, deep day of yoga practice, and it was phenomenal. But what I can tell you about it is a lead meditation sequence is coming based on what I'm practicing, which has a lot to do with mudras, chakras, and a couple of transcendental techniques that I've learned from various teachers, not the least of which is the Rashdi Bazaar. Which brings me to the lesson of today. It's very brief, and it's very interesting because one of the reasons why I love having Arash as my mentor is for about a year now, he comes out with this material, these videos or products or teachings during his live lessons that are so congruent and aligned with what I'm personally practicing at that moment. And or if, for example, what happens a lot of times is, or it's happened twice, is the music that he plays, he'll play music before his lectures, are songs that I am currently stuck on. You know, I get these where I just play the song over and over, and it's just so little things like that. So in a recent product, which is why I feel comfortable talking about what I'm about to talk about, because it's in one of his products that he charges money for. I'm not going to say it the same way as him, but here it goes. It basically has to do with the second chakra, Svadhisthana, which means sweetness. And this is our pleasure center. It's located somewhere around the sacral plexus. And it has to do with sexuality, our sense of our right to possess, our right to have, like if we feel worthy of owning things or having pleasure. And pleasure can be extracted from any moment. And this is an analogy that I had thought of long ago because I used to be a substance abuser, and it's all on a spectrum. Sensation, pleasure, and pain, it's on a spectrum. What might be pleasurable if you magnify its intensity by, let's say right now I'm scratching my knee. If I were to press 10 times as hard, that would hurt. But it's the same thing, and it's the same sensation. It's just the magnitude is amplified, and so that gets interpreted as pain. And for example, back in the days when I used to do a lot of psychedelics, in fact, things that would have hurt not on psychedelics, someone just messaged me, felt really good on psychedelics. But then when the drugs would wear off, it'd be like, fuck, that hurts where I was just scratching, or what in particular with regards to yoga, you're on drugs and you're stretching, and you'll overstretch if you're high. This is why I don't recommend smoking weed before yoga. I don't recommend doing drugs and doing yoga. Don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself, because what feels good on the drug, you're actually hurting yourself, but the sensation is being interpreted as pleasure. And you see this in a lot of stories of saints and sages that were unaffected by pain. And one of the apostles of Jesus was like put in a boiling water or boiling oil or something. He was just laughing. He was laughing at the people that put it. And it's a story. Who knows if it's real, but there's a lot of stories like that in various cultures of people being beaten or tortured, and they're just laughing at their oppressors, or they're crying at their oppressors out of pity, not crying because they're in pain. They've dissociated from their body so much, or who knows, I'm not claiming to be a saint or sage, but they might be just filtering the sensation as pleasure. You have a right to pleasure. I have a right to pleasure. In every conversation, the magic and the miracle of another person talking or communicating and your ability to listen is pleasurable. The temperature, the air, it could be cold, it could be warm, it could be hot, rainy, muggy, dry. It's pleasurable. It's just a sensation, and you're filtering with your preferences, which could make it positive, which it already was, or it might make it negative, which downgrades the experience of life. And we don't want to downgrade the experience of life. We want to upgrade. We want to amplify. We want to indulge appropriately. So there's deeper lessons to this, but I'm going to keep it brief. Basically, if you go back to the second chakra video I have on my channel, which is called "You Project What You Reject," or something like that. The part of you that you reject is you project to other people, which the lesson of that is in that video. I'm not going to get into it now, but I show you a hand mudra that you can use to meditate on the second chakra. And yes, it is meditate on the second chakra. You hold Svadhisthana Mudra, and you can contemplate your right to pleasure, your right to own, your right to possess, your right to have. Combine that with another video I showed on transcendental meditation, which is called, I'll link it to this video, it's called how to increase the pauses between your thoughts. I think it's an unlisted video, but I'll link it for you all. That's a kind of transcendental technique, so you apply that with the Svadhisthana Mudra, and you'll be able to gain your own insights on your sacral plexus and your programming towards pleasure, your programming towards, I don't want to call it self-esteem, but your emotional intelligence, let's say. Because this is, emotional intelligence is so much. Emotions are the language of your soul. Emotions are the fuel for your ambition in life. Emotions are your communication to the mother goddess, to your family and friends, to your partners, to yourself, to your unconscious mind, to your magical rituals. Emotions are magical, and you got to come into tune with them even more. Alright, so that's it for today. Definitely subscribe to the channel and share this video. Ninth Limb. Peace.